1-0 match point lead.
Let's see what we got in store on the spawns as well, because I think that is going to be an important detail. Now, when we did see the cheeky little Barbican coming out last from B, it wasn't an easy one to pull off. In fact, he got a very suboptimal Barbican in the end because of the generation making it impossible to sneak on in. This time, however, look at Wham's base. That looks like it needs to be punished with a Barbican to me. 2 gold spawns, 4 to your base to the left, and the other on the right side next to a wood line. Multiple points of value for the Chinese.
Yeah, could find a lot of value here. The other thing I love about this one is take a look at the cliff spawn to the north of B's base. Because one thing that we need to consider is that at any point in this game, even with the Barbican rush, the French will try to sneak a couple of knights to the back of your base, harass you a lot. And this vulnerability on the north is spectacular for B. He can limit Vam's chances of raiding his base much better than he could on many other maps. In fact, he is gonna have a perfect vulnerability here for the standards of this map. In fact, this might be the first time I see a big cliff like that at 4 Lakes, so lucky map spawn over here for B as well.
It's deceptive as well, because like, look, it's high ground in direction of Wham. He can just station people up. That it doesn't really count for much. What counts for more is the fact that B has a very wallable spawn here. That's difficult for the French to deal with. You want to get into knights early on. Remember what we said, like the advantage of French isn't on the sea, it's on the land, where you can get into those knights and then just dent their economy. And remember, if you do put ample dents into the land eco early on, or even in the mid game, you stunt the growth on the lakes as well, because they won't have the wood to get those fishing boats up.
And they won't have the wood to get hawks out for defense. Like, that's another thing as well. Like, if you think about it, as you said, the key thing here for French is defending their pawns is very pricey. So if you can cut them off from accessible wood, then you can easily make it very difficult for them to defend their own pawns as well. Although the same applies for the Chinese as well. If you can cut them off from access to wood, it's going to make it much more difficult for B to keep establishing the fishing eco that he already started working towards.
And that's the key detail there we highlighted in the pregame. If you do go for the fishing, you are going to delay your tech up timing. Admittedly, it's not as drastic of a delay for this Civ than others because you push those boats 20% faster, so you start making returns sooner. It looks like Wham might be susceptible to that Barbican drop because he himself is also going for the docks.
It's a risky play. He sees the dock from his opponent, so I guess he knows that it's not gonna be like a blazing fast feudal age from the Chinese player. But it's still risky because, as he said, he's going to delay his feudal age. And as a French player, it takes more time for you to capitalize on the fishing ship investment because they train for a lot longer than the Chinese fishing ships do. So, using these considerations, especially if you consider the fact that the Chinese also get the benefit from taxation, we might see a slightly faster feudal age here for B, and that could open up his opportunity for a potential Barbican drop.
Let's see if he gets an opportunity. One problem he's going to have is like Wham could easily scout him from here. In fact, it's getting a lot of free value. In the end, it'll probably just be a villager pulled here to repair it, but it's going to be a little bit of idle time adding up, and Wham doesn't really have any other use for these scouts right now, considering they've collected plenty of sheep. At least I hope they have.
Speaking of sheep, you don't have much under the town center of B here, so if I am correct, he might be running out of sheep very soon. Not a lot of sheep under the town center of Wham either. But yeah, look at B's DC. Barely any sheep to be found.
It's almost like we ain't got roost in the... Actually, let's be real. Even if we had roost in the game, they wouldn't care about sheep.
Yeah. I guess the sheep is your safe food source, right? Like, it's the same thing that, let's say, a Delhi would have on Dry Arabia or Lipony. You don't want to go for that early, but it's your backup. And on a map like this, where you could easily get your entire food eco shut down by a potential aggression on your pawns, it's very important to have a backup source of food.
I feel like this is really representative of, like, modern food standards, actually. You know, the fish is the premium thing that everyone wants. That's like your sushi. Everyone's crazy about that. You might have a doner kebab occasionally, but like, it's going to be cheaper for a start. You know it's probably bad for you. Fish is just better.
And you could see for a brief moment, Core has shown us that Wham is rushing his landmark with 8 villagers. He wants to get it up as fast as possible. He's scared. He wants to get the first night out as early as possible. And it looks like this time around, B's not going to go for early aggression.
Because of what we talked about, like, it's a match point situation, and you're up against the French. Like, if you misread this at all. If you're just wrong by the slightest margin, you lose. And because he already went for a dock, he's already wrong. So I prefer this. I think if B tried to win this with some cheesy barbican, he's going to be able to go to the kitchen and make himself a cheese sandwich because the game will be over in a few minutes and it won't be in favor of him.
Yeah, indeed. I agree with you. It's too risky. And B loves to take gambles, but it's a match point situation and it's against the French. So that gamble wouldn't really pay off here. Instead, he was trying to sneak up a villager to the right-hand side pond, or... Wait a minute, there's a red dot close to Stone, man. He's going...
Outpost.
Oh, preemptive outpost, but it's too late.
And Wham.
Does he see it?
Wham just rushes tech up. Look at what he's saving up for. He's almost got enough for the Hulk already. Oh, he's rushing
He doesn't even see.
B
is yet to find this out.
And by the time he sees it, the Hulk's going to be maybe 30, 35 seconds max away.
And it's too late then. Like... At this point, what do? You can't beat a Hawk in Feudal Age, and this is so important here for the French. You don't want to be making a lot of Hawks. You want to concentrate your efforts on like 1 or 2 pawns at maximum. But wherever you are, you have insane amount of power. It's the question of whether you can focus all your attempts on 1 pawn. And right now, there is no aggression coming towards Wham's eco, so he can focus all his resources on making Hawks on the enemy pawn.
And here's his only play. B, he garrisons the outpost. That's going to do a lot of bonus damage against the Hulk. Hulks, for the French, that have less range resistance than counterparts come out in Castle Age.
He's trying to body block it.
He's body blocking, yeah. He's trying to force it to spawn elsewhere. Shots come out, but that's just not good enough here.
Yeah.
Hulk's going to walk
and if you
away.
lose the junk,
has to retreat.
Oh, the junk is heavily damaged already.
That's a celebratory
what do you do now if you're
right
B?
there. You cry.
This is terrible. He's going to lose his fishing eco with no tools to stop the Hulk.
Oh god. Wait, where you going, little fishing boats? Where are you going?
To hell! He's going to hell! That's the only place he can go with those fishing boats right now.
They're not going to hell, they're going all the way down to Poseidon's lair. They're going to be sunk here. Right now, B wishes that they could get little legs and go across land, but they're stuck here. And he's building more docks because he has to invest at this stage. He has no other choice. 1 junk goes down, second one soon to fall. He's hard stuck here, investing on 1 pond, and that Hulk only now going beyond a quarter of its health lost. Oh my.
And the second Hulk could be a reality soon here for Wham. In fact, at this point, Wham could do whatever he wants. He could add a second Hulk, he could start adding knights, or even think about the fast castle. That's the amount of resources he has to work with, whereas for B, he's forced to run for his life. Trying to sneak a dock on the enemy pawn, though, Chinese builders might make it in time.
Question is whether Wham's now going to save up for a defensive Hulk here. 3 junks out in the field with the double dock play, allowing him to escalate, but a heavy price paid already in the fishing and in multiple junks going down. And now Wham optimizing the distance to stay out of range of the attacks. Moves back towards his dock. On the edge here, wants to be in a situation where he can maybe stop the scouts. Second Hulk is coming out. This is about to backfire for B. And the long range shots as well.
He desperately needs that northern dock to do something for him. Because Wham just invested into a second Hulk on the south. There is no way that he's gonna be able to keep his fishing eco alive. But Wham is yet to add a Hulk on the north. He's going to get rid of the villager, but the dock is already there. So B could do some eco damage. And keep in mind, if both players lose their fishing eco, this is a good trade for B. Because the investment is much bigger for Wham.
And that's why Wham is prepping the Hulk as well. So he's going to have a defensive one. 2 in his opponent's pawn should be good enough. You can see he's just going to cycle them in and out as they need to be repaired. Because you can see 1 Hulk can easily take on 3+ junks. This just ain't pretty. Whee! Whee!
Spin to win, baby. B has to commit to so many junks here on his southern pawn to compensate for this. You see, he's up to like 6 over there. He's slowly outnumbering the Hawks. What's the investment?
Not so many, though.
Oh, it's 5.
So, like, Hulk to 540 junks are, I believe it's 120, and is it 120? No, 120.
120, 90.
I think it's yeah.
120, 90.
90.
So it's actually very comparable.
Yeah, well, the amount is lost for sure. He has to focus fire, though. He's got enough junks now, but look at the heavy damage done. Wham, spinning to win, actually spinning to lose, because when you've got this many targets, you can't actually optimize on the low health ones. And in fact, he's not even spinning anymore, so it looks like Wham is going to lose out on the Hulks, but a heavy investment out of B in the process.
It's a heavy investment, but at least B is able to retain some of his fishing eco, unlike Wham. Because behind this one, B was also destroying the fishing eco here of Wham, or at least damaging it to make it idle for some time. And you see, he's microing those junks. This is not an easy thing to do, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like he's just right-clicking the fishing ships and he's gone. He's dancing around, making sure that those fishing ships are idle as long as possible. Continues to apply pressure on that fish. The problem is that Wham is one step ahead still. He's getting ready for Castle Age.
B, he's getting ready for maybe a little bit of TC boom potential here. I mean, he's at least got the Song Dynasty, as he did get the Barbican to guard the gold on the western pond. Maybe goes back for a second TC. I actually somewhat prefer that play to investing too hard on these lakes when you see how easily you're denied out.
He has walled up the right side lake. He could go for a right side lake if he really wants fishing.
Ram will be able to win the combat on his own lake. Tech up coming out. Guildhall on the high ground, unlikely to be spotted. So B won't get any early heads up and doesn't have the ability to reach up himself. You can see Wham still with the eco lead. It's what allows him to stay ahead in the naval department. And now you can transition that to land, because when you go up in castle, you don't get anything more beneficial on the sea, but you get a lot of value on land.
Indeed, and a concern. Well, technically you get the Galleass. I just have to throw it in. You know I'm a Galleass fanboy.
Please stop. It's got ass in the name, and it's really appropriate because it actually, like, it's total ass. It's terrible.
It is a terrible
You deserve to lose every game you ever play.
Indeed, that's the single combat ship that we probably won't see. Wait a minute, Spearman popping out of nowhere over here. Wham, getting caught a little off guard over here. Might lose 1 or 2 villagers. He looks like he has textiles.
Was he going for a TC boom?
Yeah, it looks like it.
That's a lot.
No
of
textiles even.
Extracted as well. He doesn't have any troops. He's still
Look
not
at the Spearman flood.
Yet.
He's doing the same thing that he did to Beastie. Just go full Spearman because your opponent only has cavalry. There's an archer range, but not a single archer on the battlefield. Ram denies the Castle Age for the time being even.
Delays it for the moment, but has to back away. Now Wham takes a little bit of a hit there, but remember, he's playing a second TC. B should know this because he just denied on the stone, but didn't deny it quick enough. Wham will get the second town center, the castle unlock as well. A greedy mother ducker, but for good reason, because B is still hard stuck in the feudal age.
But B has functional fishing eco, and Wham currently doesn't. He is able to secure this northern pond, but all the fishing eco is gone. Right now, the only person, or only player, with an actual functional and meaningful fishing eco is gonna be B. And that could help him catch up in the Castle Age timing. Wham's position here is still pretty decent, but it's not like B is in a tough spot either.
And you see the weakness of the Hulks, why we talked about them being the bait. It's not just the heavy price, it's the fact that you can't chase. So what was happening in this pond is he could push a Hulk, but B could just avoid the fight. Look how quickly junks move past them. It's impossible to stick on top of your targets, which is why if you're playing the French, the best way that you win on ponds is preventatives. You cannot allow your opponent to get a dock up, because pretty much any civ, the feudal age boat that they build will move faster.
Exactly, and that also allows you to chase down those fleeing ships. So as the Hulk is retreating, it's an option for the Chinese junks to just chase it down and finish it off before it gets close to the dock.
Cheeky little wall up attempted. Spearmen will just make their way around through the wood line, causing you a bunch of idle economy. Not sure if it's worth it for Wham, but Wham still trying to claw back the eco lead as he's now 5 behind B. B, I wouldn't be surprised if he considers like a second TC, because if he does, he'll win this race as well. Just don't know if he's actually scouted out where that secondary TC is yet from Wham.
Yeah, I don't think he scouted that, but he saw the stone mine, so he should know that the second TC is a reality. He's over-investing to the pond in the north, though. He keeps adding junks despite the fact that Wham has already bailed on that pond. That's an over-investment, and that could backfire pretty badly. So could possibly a tower that is within the line of sight of Wham, able to pick off both villagers building it.
Canadians call these oot posts, as in get out of here and stop building this. And it looks like Wham will be able to stop him in time. Kills 2 villagers off in the process. Raid on the backside. B trying to keep up pressure where he can. Remember that these are squishy boys, so not very effective when they have to start diving the TC, especially when the Arbitrators start to stockpile up like this.
Indeed, the problem right now for B is that he's got a force that can idle some villagers, but it's not like he's doing tremendous damage. And he's only up by 8 eco, still in Feudal Age. That's the bigger problem right now for him. He's stuck in Feudal Age. If he was in Castle, this would be a great scenario for him. But as long as he's still stuck in Feudal Age, it is going to be a source of concern. Now he's thinking about going into Castle Age, though. And keep in mind, he's escalating his fishing eco much faster than Wham. So, in an even Castle Age footing, we could see the Chinese player with the better eco taking over.
Well, consider this. Wham might be going for a keep drop. You saw him on that TC, getting back on the stone. If this is free TC, this is a bit too greedy. If this is the keep drop, it could shut B down just as it's beginning to escalate.
Possible. The question is whether he's gonna have the army to escort the villagers out. For the time being, it seems like that's gonna be the case. He's gonna have lancers, he's gonna have the arbaletier, but keep in mind, Chinese are very fast when it comes to responding. They could just fly out a bunch of spearmen to deny your villagers dropping that castle. It would be a risky move at the bare minimum from Wham to do something like that.
To be or not to be, that is the question. We'll have to find out. 200 stone a minute definitely suggests Wham's got some posturing plays with keeps. It could just be one in the central forest, actually, because remember, this is French at the end of the day. Influence, given the discount, would give you a proxy base to push units from. And here we go, B really pushing his economy to the limit. TC and also the castle up. Now going to find himself at free TC effective, not only now having the advantage in the fishing department, but can quickly reach ahead of the French in the villager area as well.
Wham needs to make something happen because it's a 2 TC Song Dynasty Chinese player reaching Castle Age with a massive fishing eco. And you see villagers are being pulled here, dropping for now a house in the forest, now changing that to a tower, but a tower by itself is going to be insufficient, and he's yet to grab the resources he needs for a castle. You see that the guild hall is set on food, not stone, so he can't even pull off resources from there to drop a keep. And B is also mining some stone for his own keep, I do believe. He sees... Wait, does he see the villagers out there? Does B see the villagers? He has towers. He should be able to.
He should just about get skimmed vision on it. So B... Yep, he sees it, so he knows. He should know what's coming. Wham, still not with enough stone, though, has to peel back. I'm not really sure what he does with the villagers anymore, because this stone gathering rate is way too low. He's going to go back to help it, to assist it, but that delay is going to offer up opportunity for B to posture aggressively and possibly deny it.
And as this game goes longer and longer, it's going to benefit the Chinese player more and more, especially now that we're entering a stage where suddenly you have a 22 eco lead in the favor of B, controlling 3 pawns. And we have seen in the previous set that he has played against Beastie Cutie that he loves to fish. He will go up to 50 fishing ships if needed, and that's not something that you can even raid with your knights if you're Wham. So doing eco damage on the side of Wham is going to be difficult.
That's true. Every single game we see a B, he instantly wants to see if he can do some fishing. Sometimes it's not possible because it doesn't exist, but he probably dreams of it even in those situations. And it's supposed to allow him to boom his eco pretty quick. But respect the fact that Wham still has a lot of arbaletiers, still has a window of opportunity to get that keep up, but needs to act fast. Good play for B actually in this situation could be to go in for a nest of Bs, because that's a lot of arbors and they cannot sidestep those shots quickly.
Nice castle placement over there would deny essentially all the forests that Wham has, or the B rather, has access to. B can also drop his own keep here. Let's keep that in mind though. So he could respond to this one. He sees it. Let's see what he's going to do against it.
He would have to delete the walls and then expose his villages to knights.
Yeah, problem is that the arbaletier would just stop his keep. He can't just counter keep this one. Overchops the wood line though.
Uh-oh. Thank you for the invite into your base. I will be accepting the invitation.
Ooh, this is terrible. Could deny the barracks. And army numbers are looking much better for Wham over here on land.
Those Imperial officials, that's 2 freebies. Pricey ones as well, 150 resources each. Not enough Palace Guard either. Knights looking for premium targets, and they'll be able to find them soon. The villagers are going to be exposed at this rate. Arbaletiers moving past, and look at that gold line to the left. The Barbican doesn't have enough room for all the villagers to be safe there. And the Knights discover another Imperial official going down.
Great value.
Getting rid of the taxmen. What is this? Is Wham Robin Hood?
Great value out there in the Palace Guards. They're trying to swarm the Arbaletier, but the trades are not favorable for B. These are very pricey Palace Guards for him that are being taken down by all the Arbaletier. And keep in mind that B, numerically, he has the army lead. Look at those numbers, 44 to 23. But wait a second, most of those are just junks.
Uh-oh. Keep, aggressive keep from B. The shivs are out though, and I don't think he has textiles.
Lancer might be able to stop it.
That's not going up. The Knight's going to make sure it doesn't go up.
Lord, doubt smile upon us.
Wham, you absolute beauty. The villager pull ensures he gets pipped at the post here, and now the torch damage comes through. B. Wait, B? Did he delete the keep? Please, God, tell me he hasn't deleted the keep. Wait, what? Didn't finish the last villager! He ignored him! Oh no!
Oh, that is painful. That could have been a keep denied.
I think he missed. I think he thought he clicked the villager. We know how hitboxes are here. I wouldn't be surprised if it looked like to him he clicked the villager and then glanced away and didn't realize he got his torches out.
Yeah, and he glanced away because he wanted to micro these orbs. He thought that he stopped the keep and now he can go back to microing his crossbows. He looks back and what he sees is a keep in his face. Could be a lifesaver here right now for B because he was in a tough spot. Now he's able to get a keep up in the face of Wham. But Wham, his response is going to come in the form of Imperial Age. Oh, this is still looking grim for B. Although, now that I look at his numbers, actually Wham is in big trouble.
Good. B has a phenomenal economy. He's not weak right now. Like, Wham, if he goes Imperial, the game's over, and it's not over in favor of him. We'll be going to a third map. He needs to get troops out. He needs them fast. Now he's being built up more up the trees. He threw his entire army away, diving to the base of B, and now B ready to overwhelm. 36 Palace Guard diving into the French economy, and plenty of it to pick apart because most of it is on land. Ball's going up to try and seclude this, try to deny quick access, but right now, Wham lacking the critical mass to even hold a choke point.
And the thing is, he's floating a ton of resources, but he wasn't set up to flood units. He doesn't have a tremendous amount of production buildings. He's not going to try and rush Imperial with the College of Artillery, but this is something that, especially if B spots, could easily hit a timing push with. I think B might even see those. If he sees it, he needs to go.
The only way it works is if you get like 4 Reboldequins, but even then, Palace Guard are quick.
50 Palace Guards!
Blink an eye. Yeah, this is once again B doing the same thing. Last time he had more spear before he reached this, but he loves his Palace Guard. And Lidakor, I wouldn't be surprised if behind this we see a Yuan dynasty. All of a sudden, these lads will be moving quicker
Wait a second. Wait a second. If he spots it, he can deny this.
No, he hasn't got the vision. He's pulling to the south side. It doesn't matter, though. Even getting this tech up unnoticed doesn't change the state of affairs for Wham. He's struggling to stabilize, and the non-stop Palace Guard are going to keep him pinned.
46 Palace Guards on the battlefield. Artillery numbers increasing here for Wham, though. If B is not putting up constant aggression, there might be a chance to buffer this up, because technically we have 40 Palace Guards, but where are they? They need to be in the base of Wham right now before the Reboldequins come out or before the Elite Arballetry upgrades come in.
I'm stroking my chin right now. I mean, he needs some siege in the front line is the big issue. If he gets Nest of Bs, this game is done. Wham can't win.
But that's a big if.
We know that B has enough villages to pull to the front line.
I don't even see the Palace Guards. That's my concern. Where are they?
They're stuck next to the keep. They're just standing there.
Are they actually stuck?
Yeah, look at the keep. They're not stuck. Well, I don't know if he's noticed, but look at them. Look at them. He only just noticed they've been standing there the whole time.
Traffic jam. Finally unleashing them, but this is giving precious minutes for Wham. Wham is up to 21 Arballetry. And if he gets Imperial Age, if he gets crossbow stirrups, he could possibly hold these guys off.
B probably should have stopped to burn those houses right now. He doesn't know for sure, but you can maybe presume your opponent is somewhat popcat because he doesn't have the room to build crap tons of houses behind his base. As a result, though, he can keep building more troops. Arbitrary is here now to cancel you out. And the Palace Guard are being butchered. They need to prioritize targets here. Movement in onto the Arbitraries. Cannons coming out from Wham, so no Reboldequins yet. Second wave coming in. B finally consolidating his forces for the push-in. This push-in needs to find
beautiful
more than just
Sarando.
range. Nice and closing. No retreat point. Lumber camp used against them. The Arbitrary count going to be shrunk down. Wham in desperate need of something that can actually have maximum impact in a splash in this fight. And
he's lacking the elite upgrade. He just now gets the elite upgrade in, though. Falls back under the town center. Bombard also there to help. Palace Guards, though, still swarming in numbers. And Wham is out of food. He can't replenish those Arballetry. If he can't make a stand here, it's over.
He's have to peel back a little bit. Arballetry holding on for the moment. B about to go below 40 of the men at arms, the Royal Palace Guard, and now defensive keep coming out from Wham. A hard pull of villages, because if there's one thing he has left to commit, it's villages. It's the only thing it really feels like. But the Palace Guard, with the instant reaction, is going to club him down for it. Arballetries are once again wiped. B, his army is at least shrinking because of that side investment into the Yuan dynasty, but it will recover quickly.
And now the Palace Guards, they are racing cars. They are just going to reach that castle so fast thanks to Yuan Dynasty. Castle might go up here for Wham, but what's the price that you pay for this one? He's down to just 75 population, and the keep is even getting denied here. Story over here for Wham. We're going to game number 3 in all certainty.
He's going to try, though. He recommits the villagers. The greed. Wham, if he'd done this straight away, it'd be up already. But the amount of villagers going down, the final
he won't get it.
B,
there is
B
one more.
will not miss it.
There is one more.
Pull a Wham. Final villager gets it. But what does it do at this stage? Look at his economy. Over 5% of his villagers have died for this.
60 population against 180 with B getting ready to go into Imperial. Congratulations, you made the castle, but you probably have lost the game because this castle, even if it lasts long enough, it's not gonna change anything. Vam's eco is completely devastated.
Arbitraries are rebuilding. Wham refused to give up. He middle fingers Lidakor and says, I'm not out of this game yet. But B looking to make Lidakor right. Double trev on the front line. Royal Cannons wheeling out to respond, can insta-snipe down. B says, nice Imperial Age, check out mine. I'm not losing my entire base to get it. And that might be a bit of a pickle for Wham to solve here, because this is where we get into Bombard territory. Bombards that will have more range than those Royal Cannons.
And this is where we're also getting to the elite upgrades of the Palace Guards, the battle-hardened upgrade as well. Suddenly those Palace Guards will be even more impactful compared to what they used to be in Castle Age. You might get rid of this keep in the south here, but you will have no chance to protect what's left of your eco here if you're Wham.
Wait, B, why are you building Bouchuans? There's nothing near the shore for you to attack.
He wants to ensure that there is nothing that's gonna be ever there.
Naval Supremacy is the name of the game.
He's trying to find the gold mine, maybe. He might even be able to reach the guild hall.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, he wouldn't have vision if it wasn't for land vision. Because remember, we've seen this before, it's really awkward behavior, but it looks like the land vision is letting him see this, so we'll have value there. Nice outpost from B. Big thumbs up from me.
Yeah, for now, he can't reach it, but once the unique upgrades are in, the unique upgrades will let him reach it. So, don't worry, you're going to see your Bauschon treatment of the day.
Yeah, the last one. Like, I actually love how Beast learned from that, because you remember, he had the same issue against Beastie where he couldn't see onto the high ground, so he wasn't able to target the Regnates, but this time we had to target that guild hall. It's kind of a similar value situation. Wham, are we really doing this now?
At least you tried.
No one would strike down a man of the cloth. Yeah, now get your Western religion out of here. We're Chinese. Wow, he's really going for more TCs. I mean,
he has to, like, at this point, as funny as it sounds, like, yeah, go for 7 town centers. It's because, like, what are your chances of winning this game? Less than 5%. But if you have any chance, it has to come through an eco reboom, and you need to do it as fast as possible. Gamble on 5 town centers. Try to get back somehow. Your chances are minimal, but if you want to find a way back, then you need multiple town centers and get those villager numbers back up very fast.
These Palace Guard are chunky. Way too hard to get through. Arbitrary is trying, but every time they deal with one wave, another comes. It truly is the zombie apocalypse for Wham. But he's trying to hold on. Sir? Okay, he did notice.
B's banking up resources though like a madman, and at this point you gotta start evaluating the possibility of a Ming dynasty even, and possibly see some grenadiers out there to deal with those annoying fully upgraded arbaletier.
I do feel like he slowed down to a bit of detriment here. Like, Wham's getting an opportunity to recover. I don't know if this is B's, like, bruised and bad strategy here, where it's like, oh yeah, I'll let him slightly reboom and then dive in with another 50 Palace Guard to kill off whatever he rebuilt. And then I'll burn his mind out over time, the mental strain of it, tilt him for game 3. But it does feel like B is just going for this kind of like select, attack, click, and base approach that is costing him a lot more troops to get this victory than maybe he needs to.
I think it's more about the fact that he just focused elsewhere. He's setting himself up long-term, so he has less time to like micro his forces. He just wants to win by attrition. I do agree, it's not really optimal for him to micro the units like he is doing it. Like, essentially, not microing at all, but at least he's setting himself up long-term behind this one.
It definitely feels like he's setting himself up long-term when he walks into his opponent's base and takes what is like, his 2nd or 3rd gold vein away from him. And you can't do anything about it, because if you run those arbitraries anywhere near the Coast Guard, the Bauchad Coast Guards are going to wipe you out.
Told you that Bauschon is out there to guard the gold.
Well, did tell me so, and now he's going to tell Wham exactly that. He's actually committing as well.
He lost the cannon to it.
Not advised.
Oh, he lost the cannon to it, so he doesn't even have a response to this. Now here come the Palace Guards. Wham has nowhere left to go.
You can go back in his TC and watch the rest of his base.
Look at that. Look at the sandwich. Minced meat in the middle.
Oh, God. The Royal Cannon gets out, but that doesn't matter. The Arbitraries are gone. This should be the GG territory. Like, Wham, good attempt, but without an army to defend, it's finally going to come to an end. Game 3 will be required. B proving the Chinese can be pretty damn dominant when you take the 4 legs.
Oh, what a set we do have on our hands over here once again. And B, I mean, now you have to start thinking about the possibility of B being one of the most dangerous players on 4 legs. Somehow he always finds a way to win, and I think so far he has been the player that was able to just establish that food eco and keep it alive on the ponds the longest among all pro players, and it's fueling his war machine. He once again probably has gotten to like 50,000 food only thanks to those fishing ships, and him keeping it alive and being able to have such an efficient economy thanks to those fishing ships is really nice to see.
Yeah, B is just... I honestly think like he's would I say the most underrated Chinese player? I think maybe because people don't see him in the top 8, because I feel like in a lot of ways B embodies like the best Chinese performance on average out of player. Simply because like he finds all these quirky, innovative builds and different approaches compared to the meta. And that's the interesting thing about the Chinese. I think compared to not a lot of other civs, like they're not as stable as say the Rus in their versatility, but there is versatility. And with that versatility, a lot of volatility. Something that we've seen time and time again is B unlock that volatility, whether we're talking here, whether we're talking in M4C qualifiers, or talking in Golden League. No matter where we're seeing it, he always finds a way to exploit the Chinese.